Hi, I'm Angel Hawks. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom to my youngest son, who is in 5th grade currently and about to go into 6th grade. This is Nico. He's my sidekick. You want to say hi? Today I wanted to come on and tell you a little bit about how our year went and how we did 5th grade. What we stuck with, what we got rid of, what worked and what didn't work. Hopefully this will be helpful for some of you who are trying to figure out what you're going to do for 5th grade as I tell you what I tried and what we stuck with. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Okay, let's get started. So first off, we do Bible, and we used master books, and this is called Elementary Apologetics if you look it up on their website. And it comes in a box set of 8 little 6x6 books, which are answers for kids. And so what this is every page has a question asked by a child and then an answer, and talks about all the different questions that kids would ask about the Bible. And you can get a teacher's manual that has all the worksheets in it, which has Bible verses that they can go and look up and write down, and comprehension questions about the material in the books. We really enjoyed this. He enjoyed doing it every day, and I highly recommend it. Next, we have history. We used the story of the world, and we also used master books. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do, so we were trying them both out. We liked them both. This was a great read aloud, and also we got the audiobooks so that I could play them and he could just listen to them while he was doing like Legos or coloring or whatever. The world story, we would do a read aloud where I would read with him and talk to him about the different pictures and things like that. And he would ask questions. And I really enjoyed the Master Books world story because it has a biblical view, whereas the story of the world really is kind of secular. Now, in the Ancient Times book, it does cover biblical stories. Joseph, Abraham, some of that. The story of the Jewish people. But it's not really written to a Christian worldview. Anyway, it doesn't have, all the pictures and everything. So this was really our read aloud, and this was something that we listened to when we had time. We didn't get all the way through it, but we did go all the way through the Master Books world story. So we kind of liked them both. I think I'll keep using them both in our next year's curriculum. So keep an eye out for my next video on what we're doing for 6th grade. Then we have Latin. Now, we're a classical conversations family, and part of classical conversations is Latin, but it only covers some memory work of noun declensions and things like that. It doesn't teach the language. So that comes once they get to 7th grade. So in 5th grade, I wanted him to have a introduction to the language so that when he gets to 7th grade, he won't be just thrown into it. And we're going to continue in 6th grade to dive a little deeper. So in 5th grade, we used Prima Latina from Memorial Press. It was really good. It was a gentle approach to Latin. It starts out very basic and gives a lot of vocabulary. So a lot of this was just learning vocabulary, learning how to say the letters, learning how to pronounce words. And then as you got towards the end of the program, then you were actually conjugating verbs and things like that, learning more about how the language works. So it starts out really gentle. I thought it was a great introduction to the language. Comes with, this is the teacher's guide, comes with a student workbook, and it comes with an audio CD. So I thought that was a good approach. I really enjoyed it, highly recommend it. It was good for that level. Now let's talk about math. So we use Matthew C. This is our second year of homeschooling. So we started out in 4th grade with Epsilon, and that was all about fractions. And then now we're into decimals and percent with Zeta. So this is a mastery approach, not a spiral approach. So the way this works is, let me get to a section we haven't done yet. For each lesson, they have pages for A through G. So you have 7 days of work. What I do is I give my child the 4 different days worth, so A through D, to do during the week. And then I look at how well he's doing. If he's missing stuff and he's not understanding it, then I'll pull out E and F and give him some more work to do the next week. So we'll continue that lesson on until he's really mastered it. So you have all the way through G. If they're getting it and they're understanding it and they're not missing anything from A to D, you can move on to the next lesson and do A to D. So that's what we do. And this comes with, this is the student workbook that has all of the worksheets in it. It's not colorful, it's black and white. So if you're looking for a lot of color, this is not it. However, they do have a set of manipulatives that are colored and adds that hands-on element to the curriculum. Also comes with a teacher's manual that is very good if you want to try to learn it yourself and teach it yourself. Or they have a DVD that has an instructor teaching a class that you can use instead. And so we do that. Mostly I teach him directly, and if for some reason he's not understanding the way that I'm presenting the material, then I'll pop this DVD in and let him watch the video and see if that clicks with him better. So either way, it works. He's enjoyed it. I've introduced a couple of different types of math programs and he was like, nah, I'll just stick with what I'm doing. So highly recommend this. We're going to stick with this through 6th grade as well. Now let's talk language arts. So like I was saying, we are Classical Conversations family, and we participate in the Essentials program. It's the Essentials of English Language program from CC, and it is for 4th grade through 6th grade. And you do 3 years in a row of it. So it covers grammar as well as writing. And for the writing portion, they use IEW. It is a theme-based curriculum, so it matches up with our history from CC. Throughout the whole year, this year was ancient history as the history time period, and so our writing assignments were all along the lines of ancient history. And let me show you that. This is what IEW looks like. It's the Institute for Excellence in Writing, and this is the theme-based writing curriculum. So you can pick history themes, you can pick literary works, like I think there's one on Narnia, there's one on Aesop's Fables. There's different topics that you can choose if you go with this. They also have a streaming video option so that you don't have to teach it yourself. You can have Andrew Pudawa teach the lessons for you via video and then do the writing assignments. We have loved this. Now, my son does not love it. He doesn't like to write. But prior to this program, he would have meltdowns if I asked him to do a paragraph. with this, it breaks it down into a step-by-step process so that he can actually do the writing. We don't have crying fits, and he's progressed so well. I'm just so proud of him and his progress. And this was our first year doing IEW. Highly recommend it. Even if you're not a CC family, this is available on IEW.com, and it's an independent product that CC just uses in their Essentials program. So that was a win. We're going to keep on doing that this year, and it was a huge success. The Essentials program covers not only the writing part, but grammar and spelling. The spelling portion comes from this book called Spelling Plus. They don't teach from this book, but this is where the spelling words come from. And so if you get this book, this gives you all of the lists of spelling words. It has a worksheet approach of each list. To go along with that, you can get the dictation book, and it gives you the same words that are used in those lists, but it gives you sentences to dictate and have your child write that have those words in them. So this has been good as well. Now, even though grammar and sentence diagramming and all of that is covered in Essentials, I wanted a little bit deeper instruction and more practice. So we use, in addition to Essentials, the Well-Trained Mind. This is grammar for the well-trained mind. And they don't have levels, they just have colors. So it doesn't matter which level you pick or what color you start with, but there are 3 or 4 levels that you can go through. There are 140, I want to say, lessons in here. So we did not get through it in 1 year. We're going to keep working on it through next year. And what I like about it is it's a real short lessons. It's about a page worth, and usually it's editing. Like here we have a list of sentences. You're identifying parts of this sentence. So what's an active verb and a direct object? What's a linking verb and a predicate nominative or a predicate adjective? That's been really great. So it goes right along with Essentials, but this is some extra practice and kind of presents information in a different way. We've really enjoyed this. I like the quick, short lessons, and we're going to keep working through this year. Now, I wanted him to read good literature this year, so I picked up this program to implement good literature. Lightning Literature for grade 5. I did a video walkthrough of this curriculum that I'll link up here that you can watch, but it gives a list of literature options for the grade level, and it maps out how they can read all of these different book titles throughout the year, and that's what I wanted. I was like, well, I can pick books, but how do I know what's appropriate for a time for him to get through it? Because I wanted to push him, but not push him too hard. And so this has the books split across multiple weeks. So you can see here he's reading The Mighty Miss Malone is the book, and it goes across 3 weeks. So you break the book down, and that's maybe 2 or 3 chapters a day to get the book done in 3 weeks. And so that gave me kind of a scale to work with and know what kind of pace to set. This is a whole grammar program as well as literature and reading comprehension. So here we have reading comprehension questions, and then here's grammar, and there's grammar practice. Now, we did not use the grammar part, so it was kind of a waste for us to just use this for literature, but it is a good program. I'm not sure how rigorous and robust the grammar is. I think it covers everything. It's pretty short lessons, so you could use this as your whole language arts program. It is a good program. I just really wanted the literature part. So going forward, we probably won't use it again because now I kind of have my feet wet in estimating what is a good reading pace for him. And there are other sources that I can pick up literature choices, and I'm going to do that for next year instead of going back to lightning literature. But I thought it was a good program. We did do some of the grammar some of the time, but mostly we just used the literature portion of it and the comprehension questions. I do highly recommend it. If you need a language arts program, check it out. See if you think it might satisfy all your needs. It doesn't have spelling. It's just grammar and reading comprehension. But we really enjoyed the literature choices, and the books were great, and he's been reading through them and enjoying them. So I would highly recommend them. Lastly, we have science, and we used the good and the beautiful this year. So like I was saying, we're CC family. In the cycles with CC, it has science themes that they cover. And so for the first semester of this year, cycle 1, it covered classifications of living things and how to classify, animals. And so we use the kingdoms and classifications from the Good and the Beautiful science unit study. And then the second semester was about geology and minerals, rocks, volcanoes, all that good stuff. So we used the Good and the Beautiful geology. And these are great unit studies. They're perfect for a semester. They go from K through 8. So you can scale it based on the age of your child. So this is a really good resource for CC families that want extra science put in, but they want to follow the CC, core theme. So definitely check out the Good and the Beautiful and look for the unit studies that correspond with CC. They don't say they do, but they do if you look for the topic. So like cycle 2, next year they're covering like biomes, and in Good and the Beautiful they have like habitats or something. And then in the second semester it's mainly space. So in the Good and the Beautiful they have a space unit study, so you could do that as well. Now they do have experiments and activities, but my son was really wanting more experiments and activities, more than what the Good and the Beautiful offered. So we are going in a different direction next year, but we really enjoyed these. It comes with vocabulary cards. It comes with activities to make little mini books. You create a science journal throughout the semester. We highly enjoyed the curriculum. I think it's a great recommendation for CC families. Since mine's in 5th grade, he wants a little bit more, and so we're going with something a little bit more rigorous. But this was great for a variety of levels. So if you have young ones and older ones, you can scale it for your child and have the little ones do, a little bit less and some fun kid aged activities. And then you can have the older ones do a little bit more intense study. And it's all mapped out how you scale it in here. So highly recommend these. We enjoy them, and they go with CC, so that's great. So we had some things that we liked, some things that we didn't, some things we tried, some things that, worked and we're going to keep, and some that we're going to let go. I hope this gave you a little glimpse of some of the different curriculum you have available to you for 5th grade and how it worked for us. Maybe that'll be useful for you. Subscribe to my channel so that you can get notices every time I post a new video. I'll be coming out with my new 6th grade curriculum, what we're picking for the new year, very shortly, and you don't want to miss a thing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and until next time, be blessed.